Mr. Beast is finally here as Fortnite adds another legend to its roster. It can't get more exciting than this, right? Well, maybe it can. Is Fortnite about to turn into Titanfall? Is Epic about to break their new perk system in a way that will change the game forever? Chapter 4 has barely been around for a week and already new details are coming in on what to expect during the rest of the season. If you thought the changes they made for Chapter 4 were crazy enough already, then just wait till you see what they have in store for the updates. Who here remembers Titanfall? Well, Epic might be adding wall running into the game in a future update. Leaks suggest that Epic is already working on implementing the mechanics for this, and it could really change the meta for competitive. Epic has done a great job implementing more movement into the game since Season 0. Each time we get a new chapter, movement becomes more fluid, allowing for new ways to get around and making fights a lot more dynamic. Wall running isn't the only mechanic that is hinted at being part of a future update. We also have word of a slide jump. Considering Epic already added in a slide kick, it would be interesting to see what jump sliding ends up being. Perhaps it's a way to jump kick or a way to cancel another form of movement. This one will remain a mystery for now. Finally, the last mechanic is a supposed double jump, which may or may not be part of a future augment perk. We know there will be more perks in the future, and we will even go over some of these secret new additions later on. Double jumping just seems natural as a perk considering we already have mounting as the default. With Chapter 4, Epic has done something many other games fail to implement correctly. Rather than creating gaps in skill level by forcing players to grind to upgrade and unlock perks, Epic just makes the whole process easy for anyone to understand and even easier to just drop in and play with no prerequisites. You join the match, you get your choices of randomly selected perks, and the whole system begins all over again the next match. Well, what if we told you the perks that we currently have are only the tip of the iceberg, and the newer perks are going to be even more interesting? We got a whole list of upcoming perks, and some will make you rich like the Midas Touch, which gives you 40 AR ammo immediately, then gives you gold every time you get a kill. Time to break the bank. Deft Hands reloads a random weapon every second even if you don't have it equipped. This would be insane. However, the craziest perk is still further down on this list. Riftjector Seat will actually rift you when your shield pops. If you manage to get this perk, then you always have a way out when you're taking heavy damage. If that's not broken, then we don't know what is. All these perks would be so much fun to use or exploit, but for now, let's enjoy the ones we currently have. Do you want the skills to compete in Fortnite tournaments and win big? Then click on the link below and visit ProGuides.com. For only $7.99 a month, you can gain access to all our courses to help you improve in Fortnite and more. Yeah! There are still some items we haven't seen in Battle Royale yet, but players have managed to get details about. Let's see what we got so far. One new item is the power guitar. And no, this is not a pickaxe. This is an actual weapon and it might have one of the coolest effects ever. If you were ever a fan of Guitar Hero, then you might absolutely dominate with this weapon, because you'll have to hit the buttons at the right time to keep the beat going and the damage flowing. Not only that, it will also supposedly do structural damage all around you. Here's a small taste of the unfinished item. However, there are a few more items left that might come out soon. The most interesting of which are the two new healing items. Being able to heal on the go has already changed much when it comes to the med spray and the slap juice. Being able to save some shields for later would definitely make staying on the move easier than ever before. Will Epic break the meta again with these new updates? Now, if you're looking for some items that are a little further along in testing, there is brand new footage of the Guardian Shield as well as an early look at the Deku Smash. The Guardian Shield could be seen in the original Chapter 4 trailer, but now we finally have a better idea of how it'll work in-game. Deku's power in particular works similar to the Dragon Ball Z Kamehameha wave, since it seems to take a few seconds before you can use it, but according to the original trailer, it'll leave behind destruction wherever it goes. Sounds fitting for a mythic based on One for All. Let's not forget that there are still even more items we haven't heard much from that made an appearance in the trailer. What exactly was that bird? Guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, for the question of the day. You ready for this? Let's go. What's your favorite augment so far? Do you like redeployment whenever you want? Or do you prefer having weapons no one else can get? Leave your answers in the comment section below. Epic might have finally released motorcycles, however that's not the end. In fact, Epic might already be working on a new version of the motorcycle to go along with the new one we have now. This new vehicle will be a tougher version of the Trail Thrasher, giving us even more options as we explore the Chapter 4 map and all the future updates. There are currently two versions of the motorcycle in question, the cruiser motorcycle and the sports motorcycle. Perhaps motorcycles will become just as common and just as varied as cars have been over the last few years. So we know the Fortnite community likes to theorize about Colombos, but Epic just made a big move which could mean that they are getting ready to be brought back. Colombos have been removed from the game files. Now, this might sound like they are gone for good now, but wait just a second. Recently, the motorcycles were removed from the files in preparation for their inclusion in Chapter 4. So what does this mean for Colombos? Could Epic be on the final stages of preparations to bring them back into the game? We sure hope so. So there's actually something quite interesting about the Chapter 4 map which makes it drastically different from the others. The Chapter 4 map is actually smaller than our previous map, and even the presumed location of the 0 point is not dead center like it normally would be. If you take the Chapter 4 map and put it on top of the Chapter 3 map, you will see exactly how small it actually is. There are plenty of other stray chunks of land floating all over the island, which means that during the season, we might actually see the Fortnite island get bigger as the 0 point keeps bringing in more chunks or land and old POIs onto the map. Some of these new POIs might include Crack's hot cabin, which was saved by the balloons last season. If you look off into the distance, you can see certain familiar icons floating around. Let's see if the 0 point brings them back. Another big change we can already see happening is the construction going on at the various points on the map. As we all saw during the Fractured event, this map is made up of smaller items all coming together to form one big island. However, that has left the terrain a bit bumpy. It makes the current island feel a lot more natural and wild, but by the looks of it, the construction crew will be working hard to flatten out some of the jankier areas. So does this mean we will see the Chapter 4 map have proper roads like the previous maps? Or would you prefer the map to stay as uneven as it is now? We've reserved our last, but for two game modes you might definitely have heard of by now, but the info just keeps coming out as we get closer and closer to release day. New images of first-person Fortnite have been circulating, however, they aren't actually from the first-person mode, just adjusted to what camera angle. Regardless, it's still a pretty neat point of reference for what first-person Fortnite is going to look like when it finally hits. With Excalibur rifle in the loot pool, it sounds like the recipe for chaos. We also have a new look at Creative 2.0. Here's a fun fact you might not have known, but the Fractured event was actually created using the new Creative 2.0 system. While it wasn't the most insane event ever, it really goes to show that players using Creative will have the tools to make something like this. If all goes as planned, one or both of these new features will be implemented into a future update for Chapter 4 Season 1. When they do finally drop, it's going to explode, so don't miss out. Before we wrap things up for today, don't forget to visit ProGuides.com and find out how you can save 10% on coaching. That wraps things up for today. Did you enjoy today's video? Leave a like and ring that bell to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest tips and tricks. Chapter 4 has given us so much new content, it's such a night and day difference from Chapter 3, and it's only getting better. So once again, this is Galvanized, and we'll see you on our next exciting video.